2026 Tricycle RV Camper is one of those vehicles that makes you do a double take the first time you see it. At a glance, it looks like a futuristic three-wheeled motorcycle that swallowed up a compact camper pod. The design is unconventional, bold, and very different from what most people expect when they think of an RV. But that's the point. It's meant to break away from the oversized, gas-guzzling stereotype of recreational vehicles and present something more nimble, efficient, and adventurous. In this review, I'll take you through what this machine has to offer, how it performs on the road, how livable it really is, and whether it justifies the hype it's been getting. The first thing you notice is size. Compared to a typical RV or even a camper van, the Tricycle RV Camper is far more compact. It doesn't tower over traffic or demand its own oversized parking lot. Instead, it fits into tighter spaces, slips through narrower roads, and generally feels more approachable. The three-wheel layout plays into that. With a single wheel at the back and two up front, the trike stance gives it stability at low speeds while keeping the footprint shorter than a van. From the outside, the styling is a mix of aerodynamic curves and angular panels, which makes it look a little futuristic and a little rugged at the same time. The designers clearly wanted it to stand out at campgrounds and trailheads, and it definitely does. Step inside and you immediately realize this is not a gimmick. It's a carefully thought-out living space, albeit on a small scale. The interior is all about multifunctionality. The main bench converts into a bed, and with the push of a panel you can turn the back area into a workspace or a dining nook. There's a compact kitchenette with a sink, a two-burner stove, and a surprisingly decent fridge for something this size. Storage is smartly hidden under seats, in overhead compartments, and in modular shelves that fold away when not needed. For solo travelers or couples, it feels cozy but functional. You won't mistake it for a full RV lounge, but compared to tent camping or even motorcycle touring, it's a huge upgrade in comfort. Bathroom facilities are scaled down, as you'd expect. There's a small wet bath setup, which means the toilet and shower share the same compact space. It won't feel luxurious, but it gets the job done, and for many people that convenience is priceless when you're far from traditional facilities. Water storage is limited, so you're not taking long hot showers, but the balance between space and utility is surprisingly well struck. For those who prefer even more simplicity, some trims come with just a cassette toilet and external shower hookup to save weight and space. Power and utilities are another strong point. The camper is designed with off-grid living in mind, so you get a decent solar array on the roof as standard, with options to upgrade to more powerful panels. These feed into a lithium battery bank, giving you enough juice to run lights, fans, small appliances, and charge devices. You can also plug in at campsites with shore power if you want to save your stored energy. Heating and cooling are modest but present, with efficient electric systems that help keep the interior comfortable in mild climates. Extreme heat or cold will test the limits of the insulation and battery capacity, but for average adventures, it holds up. Performance is where things get really interesting, because the Tricycle RV Camper doesn't drive like an RV at all. Depending on the configuration, you can choose between a compact combustion engine or an electric drivetrain. The electric option is especially appealing for people who want a cleaner, quieter experience, and while range isn't massive, it's enough for weekend getaways and shorter journeys. The combustion engine version has better range and faster refueling, which is useful for long trips. Either way, the trike format makes it feel more like piloting a motorcycle with a safety net. It accelerates quicker than a big camper, handles tighter turns, and feels much more responsive. That said, three-wheeled vehicles come with quirks. In sharp corners, you don't have the planted stability of four wheels, so you need to adjust your driving style. Crosswinds on highways can push the body around more than you might expect. And because the camper module sits fairly high, the center of gravity isn't as low as a motorcycle. But for careful drivers, it's nothing unmanageable. On the plus side, the trike setup makes parking, maneuvering, and threading through narrow forest roads far easier than any conventional RV could manage. Efficiency is one of the camper's biggest selling points. Traditional motorhomes often guzzle fuel at shocking rates. This, by contrast, is much lighter and sleeker, so fuel economy is far better. Even the combustion version will take you much farther per gallon, and the electric model, though limited in total distance, offers extremely low operating costs. For travelers who want to explore without burning through fuel money, that's a huge advantage. Living with the Tricycle RV Camper does mean accepting trade-offs. Space is the obvious one. If you're imagining bringing the whole family and half the garage with you, this isn't the right choice. Storage is clever but limited, so packing light is essential. You'll be fine for clothing, food, and gear for 1 or 2 people, but forget about hauling kayaks, mountain bikes, and a generator all at once. Power capacity is also a limit. You can't expect to run heavy appliances or an air conditioner for hours on end. It's meant for efficient living, not luxury off-grid cabins. But the advantages can outweigh those compromises depending on your lifestyle. Imagine a weekend escape. You roll out of your driveway with something that handles almost like a motorcycle, cruise to a forest trail or lakeside spot, park in a space too small for RVs, and still have a comfortable bed, a working kitchen, and a toilet waiting inside. Or picture a long-distance traveler who doesn't want to be tied to hotel reservations, who values mobility and wants to reduce their environmental footprint. For those scenarios, this camper makes perfect sense. From a design perspective, it's also a statement. The futuristic aesthetic, the bold trike silhouette, and the compact form send a clear message that RV travel doesn't have to mean oversized, lumbering buses on wheels. It reflects a cultural shift toward minimalism, efficiency, and adventure over excess. And because it stands out so much, it turns heads everywhere you go, which is either a fun bonus or a drawback if you prefer to travel incognito. One of the underrated benefits is cost of ownership. Insurance tends to be lower than traditional RVs because of its smaller classification. Maintenance is simpler thanks to the smaller engine or electric drive. And storage, which is a big problem for people who own giant RVs, is less of an issue here. Many people can keep it in a standard driveway or garage, which removes the headache of paying for off-site storage. There are still questions to ask before buying. How much weight can it safely carry? What's the exact range of the electric version under real-world conditions? How easy is it to get parts or service if something goes wrong on the road? And of course, what's the final sticker price? Often, niche vehicles like this carry a premium, and while it may be cheaper than a full-sized RV, it could still be a big investment compared to a camper trailer or rooftop tent.